For all your tax needs and more, Later CPA's the one you adore. Later CPA and Associates, accounting done great by mates. For all your tax needs and more, Later CPA's the one you adore. Later CPA and Associates, accounting done great by mates.
Hi there, I'm Daniel Later, founder of Later CPA and Associates, and welcome back to our ongoing series, Building a Successful Private Practice, from beginning to infinity. My therapist says I need to face my fears. My accountant says I need to face my receipts. Honestly, the receipts are scarier. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into this week's topic. This week we are talking about estate planning and preparing your practice for the future. So most private practices are built from heart, from hustle, and years of trust with clients. But if something happened to you tomorrow, would your family and your clients know what to do next? So the goal for today is to give you a simple, practical roadmap to protect your people, your practice, and your legacy without getting lost in the legal or tax jargon. So why does estate planning matter for a private practice? Well, your practice is an asset. Even if it feels personal, it has real value that can be transferred to someone else. The continuity of care is part of your legacy. A plan that protects your clients from disruption and protects your staff from chaos. Avoiding panic decisions. Without a plan, families often sell fast or discount the practice or shut it down. All things you probably want to avoid. So here's a critical thinking question. If you were out for 6 months or gone permanently, who could legally and practically keep your practice running? So the core estate planning pieces that every practice owner needs are the following. Think of this as your practical survival. Think of this as your practice survival kit. Your personal and your legal basics. Do you have a revocable living trust or a will in place? One that defines who gets what and who's in charge. Do you have a durable power of attorney with a healthcare directive? This lets someone act for you if you're alive but unable to act. Do you have any updates to the beneficiaries? These override your will, but there are things to consider. Who is your beneficiary? Family, someone else, etc. So there's a couple essentials we need to keep in mind for business planning. Do you have a succession plan written out? Who takes over clinically? Who oversees the admin and finances? Is this going to be a sale, a transfer to an associate, or a complete winding down? Do you have a buy, sell, or an operating agreement updated? Especially if you have any partners or key employees that may want to keep the business going. Do you have a business valuation completed every few years? This is so that your family isn't left guessing at what the value of the practice would be. And do you have something like an access map? This is a document or a location where you can keep things like passwords, logins to administrative or EHR software, billing systems, bank accounts, insurance, credentialing, etc. All the important stuff that needs to be available to whoever picks up after you. Here's another critical thinking question for you. If your spouse had to sell the practice next month, would they know A, its value, and B, who could buy it? So there's a couple tax aspects I want to cover, just the simple version of it. No need to get complicated on a short video. So don't bother memorizing this, but estate taxes, let's talk about that. Estate taxes, sometimes called death taxes, but that's not the correct name. Estate taxes. The exemption on estate taxes is very high right now. For 2025, it is $13.99 million. 2026, it'll jump up to $15 million. That's per person. Meaning if your value at the time of your death in those years is under that, there won't be estate taxes to worry about. So most practice owners, they're not going to see federal estate taxes. But planning is still an important matter to make sure that control and family protection and possibly state taxes are handled appropriately. Now, going right along with estate taxes, parallel goes gift taxes. They're related, they're different, but they're tied together. In 2025, the gift exclusion was $19,000, or as a couple, it was $38,000 per person. In 2026, I believe the number stays the same. So keep that in mind if you don't know what gift taxes or estate taxes are. We're not going into that on this short video. Just numbers to be aware of. Now, there's a concept called step up in basis. Many assets, when they're inherited by a beneficiary, get a new tax basis, based on the fair market value of that asset at the time of your death. We frequently talk about this concept with real estate because it's a gigantic strategy with real estate professionals, but your practice is also an asset that gets this benefit of a step up in basis, meaning if your family does choose to sell your practice after your death, they will have a usually very large tax benefit to help them. Now, a couple things to consider. If your estate is heavy in assets, in business value, but really light on cash, there's options to pay estate taxes if they're required, but there's options to pay estate taxes over time for closely held businesses. This is really rare, just something to mention in case you are over that 13.99 or 15 million valuation number. So another question to think of, is your net worth mostly tied up in your practice as value, or is it more cash and investments and more liquid, meaning it can be turned into money faster? So a couple practical tips to think about and to remember, and that's because the future is real. We can't stop the future from coming. We don't know what it will be. So here's some practical tips to evade the eventual happenings of the future. First, name a practice executor. This is not the same as a personal executor for your own personal trust and estate, but this is someone who understands your business and your client and your ethics. Create a one-page succession cheat sheet. It's going to have important contact information like the attorney, the CPA, EHR support, billing, landlord, malpractice insurance carrier, etc. Anyone important that might need to be contacted. It'll also include information about where you keep important documents and immediate next step instructions, such as call this professional, call the attorney in 2 days, call your accountant within the month, etc. Those important instructions. Also, another tip, train your second in command. Even if this is a part-time person or your lead clinician, train someone who can stabilize things fast. in the event of a fast turnover. Use your insurance strategically. This is your life insurance, your disability insurance. They serve a purpose. We don't like paying life insurance because it feels like you're paying money towards your future death, but it does serve a purpose of making sure things go more smoothly. You can have key person life insurance for people in your business who would need to be replaced if they pass on, or disability insurance, etc., for the same reason. This can help protect your business, your family, and your employees' business and families and situations. Review your succession plan and your one-page succession cheat sheet annually, or after any big events in life like marriages, kids, etc. Just a couple more quick critical thinking questions for you. What is one simple document that you could create this week that would make your family's life 10 times easier if you weren't here? And just one last closing thought for you. Estate planning isn't about expecting the worst. It's about protecting the people who depend on the best of you. Your family, your clients, and your team. A clear plan turns your practice from something you run into something that can outlive you with dignity. Now, if you have any questions or comments about this topic, feel free to message me, DM me, email, whatever the source is. I'm happy to answer any questions about it. If you would like to schedule a free 30-minute discovery call where we can talk about your tax strategy for your business and your personal life, DM me. We'll send you a link. We'll schedule a free discovery call. You'll talk with me for about 30 minutes and we'll go over that. Follow and subscribe for future tax tips and events like this one. And visit our website, latercpa.com. I'll see you on the next video. Have a great week. Keep helping others to help themselves, and let us help you to do just that. Bye.
For all your tax needs and more, Later CPA's the one you adore. Later CPA and Associates, accounting done great by mates. For all your tax needs and more, Later CPA's the one you adore. Later CPA and Associates,